I picked up a water sample from a golf course water hazard, and the first thing I found was this. It's a diatom. Diatoms are single-celled algae that build glass shells, but a healthy diatom looks like this. So what are these orbs? Where did the color go? I had no idea. Then the next day, I found a diatom doing this, something else I've never seen before. But this time, it was a clue. Let's solve this micro-mystery.
Micro-mysteries.
The stretch of water along the 15th hole at the Vintage Club has been a fantastic source of water samples, especially since I routinely hit my drives into it. Last week was different. I hit a perfect drive up the middle. But I walked over to the water anyway to collect a sample, and I'm glad I did. That night, I found this diatom. There was no movement, just what you see here. I had already found eggs in the same hazard, but the orbs in the diatom were too small. They just didn't seem like eggs. It was a genuine mystery. The next day, I decided I was going back to look for another one, and it took a while. Hours, in fact, looking at slide after slide. But then something caught my eye. Here was another diatom, but this time there were groups of orbs outside the diatom. It wasn't the same, but similar enough that I decided to explore it further. So I zoomed in on one of the clusters, and while I watched it, I noticed something frankly shocking. Look at that, stuff being pushed out of the diatom. What happened next took 24 minutes, but we'll run through the highlights. Inside the diatom, the material wasn't in orbs, it was packed into little sacs, almost like capsules. Something like a spout was attached to the capsule and had punched through the diatom's glass wall. The contents were being squeezed out, collecting in a pocket on the outside. The pocket swelled up like a balloon as it filled. I kept shifting focus back and forth, trying to view both inside and outside, but all of this is so impossibly small. The whole screen you're looking at is only as tall as the width of a single human hair. Eventually, the last of the material trickled out, but the show was just getting started. The blob started to change. It was jiggling. And then it seemed to begin differentiating into a pack of separate cells. This splitting of a single blob into many separate cells has a name: cleaving. The further they seemed to divide, the more active they became. Tiny whip-like flagella grew out, 2 from each cell. Then they pulled apart completely. A dozen or more, swimming frantically until they finally tore through the pocket membrane and scattered out of sight. What did I just see? I had no word for this. The closest thing my brain could grab was an embryo developing, but really fast. I saw the same thing happening all around the diatom, but in various stages. Empty capsules inside, single masses and clusters of active cells outside. Was I witnessing something out of an alien movie? These things emerging from inside a body? This just had to be a clue to my mystery. But before I could worry about that, I had to figure out what I'd just watched. Based on everything I'd seen, it seemed reasonable that parasites had invaded this diatom, feeding on the living cell from within. But the process was so strange. Let me show you the pieces because they matter to our mystery. This capsule is the parasite itself. It began as a single cell that entered the diatom and fed on it from within. Then its entire body transformed into this sac, a sporangium. There's nothing of the parasite left over. The body and the sac are one and the same. And notice, there are no individual spores in there yet, just one undivided mass of living material. The separate swimmers won't exist until that mass cleaves outside the diatom. That little tap punching through the glass wall is how it empties itself out, the discharge tube. The balloon swelling outside is the pocket that catches everything, the discharge vesicle. And these frantic swimmers, each with 2 flagella, are the finished zoospores. Hold on to that description, it will be important later. I'd watched these parasites go to a lot of trouble to pump everything outside the diatom just to cleave. But something nagged at me. That wasn't what I had seen in my original diatom. This one had capsules, discharge tubes, a pocket swelling on the outside. My very first diatom had none of that. Something was different. So it was back to the sample, many more hours, until I found this. Another diatom packed with round orbs, the same size as the ones that started all of this, about 10 to 14 microns across. Not as jam-packed as the first one, but unmistakably the same thing. And as I watched them, nothing was happening. They were totally still. But after a few patient minutes, I saw something. Starting with the orb at the bottom. It was beginning to cleave, dividing inside the diatom. Moments later, the orb in the middle began to cleave too. Then the one at the top. Soon, all of them had produced dozens of zoospores, but this time, each one appeared to have just a single flagellum. And they didn't stay put. Up at the top of the diatom, a few of them slipped out through the shell and swam away. That single flagellum was the clue that cracked this whole mystery wide open, because the number of flagella isn't a small detail. It tells you what kind of organism you're looking at. These weren't two versions of the same parasite. They weren't even close relatives. The first one, the one that grew a discharge tube and cleaved outside, its zoospores had 2 flagella. And 2 flagella is the signature of an Oomycete, a water mold. Here's the surprise. Even though it lives like a fungus, creeping into a host and releasing spores, an Oomycete isn't a fungus at all. It sits on a completely different branch of life. In fact, the same branch as the diatoms it was eating. In a way, it was a distant cousin devouring one of its own. Now the second one, its zoospores, had a single flagellum, and a lone trailing flagellum is the calling card of a Chytrid. Almost certainly a true fungus from one of the most ancient lineages in the entire fungal kingdom. So that's the answer. One water sample from one water hazard on one golf course held 2 completely unrelated parasites from 2 different kingdoms of life, each hollowing out diatoms in its own way. One a mold, one a fungus, and I could tell them apart by doing little more than counting their flagella. Mystery solved, right? Well, almost. Just a bit of tidying up. The very first diatom, the one packed with those small motionless orbs that started all of this, for a while I couldn't say what they were. Now, I think I can. They're the same round orbs, the same 10 to 14 microns as the ones we just watched cleave. And I know now those orbs can sit dead still for minutes or more before anything happens. So it seems I'd caught that first one early. A parasite already inside, just not yet ready to divide. I actually did watch it for maybe 5 minutes, but it just sat there perfectly still. It looked so lifeless that I only captured this single photo and moved on. There was nothing moving, nothing interesting to put on video. Had I waited longer, I think I'd have seen the whole cleaving process. Now I can't prove that the first diatom had the very same parasite, and the host diatom may have been a different species, but I'm as sure as I can be that what started this whole mystery was a killer caught in the quiet moments before it struck. Something dangerous is happening to diatoms at the Vintage Club. I probably won't remember the 15th for the birdie that won me the trophy. I'll remember it for the mystery in the hazard I avoided. Thanks for joining us on today's look inside the Microcosmos. We hope you'll consider subscribing to our channel so you won't miss our next adventure.